Does Praxair fill CO2 tanks? Yes, they do. However, some of the things that you need to be aware of is this, are you gonna pay rental on the tanks? Typically, yes, if you don't own the tank, you're gonna pay rent on the tanks and it's gonna be a lot, okay? When you come to CryoFX, obviously you're on our channel, we're gonna give you the information, but we're also gonna shamelessly plug our services, okay? Why wouldn't we? I know, I'm just being transparent. So with that said, we typically offer a one-stop package deal, which means you get a quote for the tank that includes a certain amount of rental days, because we know that dealing with rental is a problem. And why do I say that? Because there's companies out there, a lot of the big players in the industry, they give you a lower gas price, but then they hit you with those rental charges. And ultimately, when you take both charges together, you're paying more. Whereas if you get everything up front, obviously get the tank back in time. If you don't own the tanks, then you get a cheaper price. So yes, our price may be different, higher, lower, whatever than you get, but it includes rental. Typically, that's what we do. So link in the description, cryofx.com/gas. And we offer those services, or co2-delivery.com. Either one, it's all ran by us. We offer those abilities to do that. Now, if you're looking at 1 or 2 tanks or 3 or 4 tanks, that may be a better option to go somewhere. You may get a better deal on those. I'm just being transparent. But the larger orders, definitely you're gonna wanna come through us, okay? So yes, does Praxair fill CO2 tanks? They fill them. If you have a customer-owned tank, you need to make sure your tank is within hydro testing date, which is the last date on the tank or the newest date in a 2 number and then whatever symbol or number and then 2 number. Basically, that's the date that it was hydro tested. It must be within 5 years. And you can take your tank in and either get that filled, drop it off, pick it up in a couple days and get it back, same one, or take it in, trade it in, get a new one. You have a +1. All that means is you don't pay rent, but you may have to pay a deposit. You may have to have an account. You may have to do all this. We make this super simple. If you have your own tank, don't need an account, don't need a deposit, boom, done. You go in, you get it done. So go through us. Now, other than that, some other queries is, does Airgas fill CO2 tanks? Yes, Airgas CO2 refill or Airgas CO2 fill. Yes, they fill tanks, okay? Another one, Praxair CO2 exchange. I just talked about a Praxair CO2 exchange, which means you take your tank in, exchange it for another one. Some people have an emotional connection to their tanks. I know, it hits home, okay? Now, with that said, no, you may have a brand new tank or you may have a tank that's designated in some way that you don't want to give that up. Take it in, get it filled, bring it back. It's not really an exchange, but you're just getting it filled. It becomes a CO2 fill. So that's the difference between CO2 fill, CO2 exchange. I hope I answered your questions here. This is CryoFX. Leave a comment below, like, subscribe if you did find this video helpful and useful. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next one.